Mega Millions. Imagine what a buck could do.
A barely dressed American Idol on her bulimia battle. Next ET.
This is a CBS News special report. I'm Katie Couric reporting from Capitol Hill. What should President Bush do about the war in Iraq? That was the question put to a special 10-member bipartisan commission headed by former Secretary of State James Baker and former Congressman Lee Hamilton. Today, in this much anticipated report, hot off the presses and available on the web, the panel calls the situation in Iraq grave and deteriorating, saying it risks sliding toward catastrophe. It presented its recommendations to the president at the White House. The president said he will treat the report seriously and act on it in a, quote, timely fashion. The chief recommendations: transferring responsibility for security and combat operations to the Iraqis so U.S. combat forces can pull out, ideally, by early 2008, and new diplomatic efforts to end the war, which would include engaging Iran and Syria. Jim Axelrod is at the press conference in the Hart Senate office building. Jim, do you think this report will make any difference in terms of the president's policy?
Well, that's the gazillion-dollar question, Katie. I mean, the administration clearly wants to avoid the impression that somehow the Baker-Hamilton report is some sort of roadmap for a course correction. Tony Snow, the White House press secretary, is constantly saying when asked about it, the president is not going to outsource his foreign policy. They always point out there's a couple other internal reviews going on, one done by the Defense Department, one done by the National Security Council, and that the Baker-Hamilton Commission report is just one of the many voices that the president is going to be considering as he charts a new course. But clearly, as Lee Hamilton pointed out when he met with the president in the Oval Office this morning, this is the only bipartisan report that he's going to receive. Katie? All
right. As we see, Senator James Baker and former Secretary of State, James Baker and Lee Hamilton are about to speak.
We presented the report of the Iraq Study Group to President Bush and to members of the United States Congress. We are pleased to present our report now to the American people. It represents the unanimous views of our 10 members. On behalf of the Iraq Study Group, Jim Baker and I thank Congressman Frank Wolf, who took the initiative to create the study group, Senators John Warner and Joe Biden, Congressman Chris Shays, and others for supporting our efforts. And of course, we thank all of the members of the Congress on both sides of Capitol Hill, on both sides of the aisle. I want to say a word of appreciation to Jim Baker for his extraordinary leadership. It has been a high personal privilege for me to work with him. And of course, I extend my thanks to all members of the Iraq Study Group who have worked very hard and have come together to support this report. The situation in Iraq is grave and deteriorating. Violence is increasing in scope and lethality. Attacks on U.S. forces and U.S. casualties continue at an alarming rate. The Iraqi people are suffering great hardship. The democratically elected government that replaced Saddam Hussein is not adequately advancing the key issues of national reconciliation, providing basic security, or delivering essential services. Economic development is hampered. The current approach is not working, and the ability of the United States to influence events is diminishing. The United States has committed staggering resources. Our country has lost almost 2,900 Americans. 21,000 more have been wounded. The United States has spent an estimated $400 billion in Iraq, and costs could rise well over $1 trillion. Many Americans are understandably dissatisfied. Our ship of state has hit rough waters. It must now chart a new way forward. No course of action in Iraq is guaranteed to stop a slide toward chaos. Yet, in our view, not all options have been exhausted. We agree with the goal of U.S. policy in Iraq set forth by President Bush, an Iraq that can govern itself, sustain itself, and defend itself. We recommend a new approach to pursue that goal. We recommend a responsible transition. Our three most important recommendations are equally important and reinforce one another. First, a change in the primary mission of U.S. forces in Iraq that will enable the United States to begin to move its combat forces out of Iraq responsibly. Two, prompt action by the Iraqi government to achieve milestones, particularly on national reconciliation. And three, a new and enhanced diplomatic and political efforts in Iraq and in the region. The United States must encourage Iraqis to take responsibility for their own destiny. This responsible transition can allow for a reduction in the U.S. presence in Iraq over time. The primary mission of U.S. forces in Iraq should evolve to one of supporting the Iraqi army, which would take over primary responsibility for combat operations. As this transition proceeds, the United States should increase the number of troops embedded in and supporting the Iraqi army, and U.S. combat forces could begin to move out of Iraq. By the first quarter of 2008, subject, of course, to unexpected developments on the ground, all U.S. combat brigades not necessary for force protection could be out of Iraq. U.S. combat forces in Iraq could be deployed only in units embedded with Iraqi forces in rapid reaction and special operation teams, and in training, equipping, advising, and force protection. A key mission for those rapid reaction and special forces would be targeting al-Qaeda in Iraq. It is clear that the Iraqi government will need assistance from the United States for some time to come. Yet the United States must make it clear to the Iraqi government that we could carry out our plans, including planned redeployments, even if the Iraqi government did not implement their planned changes. The United States must not make an open-ended commitment to keep large numbers of troops deployed in Iraq. We also make several recommendations to reset the U.S. military as these redeployments go forward. A military solution alone will not end the violence in Iraq. We must help the Iraqis help themselves. President Bush and his national security team should convey a clear message to Iraqi leaders. The United States will support them if they take prompt action to make substantial progress toward the achievement of milestones on national reconciliation, security, and improving the daily lives of Iraqis. If the Iraqi government does not make substantial progress toward the achievement of milestones, the United States then should reduce its political, military, or economic support for the Iraqi government. Let me now turn over to the floor to Secretary Baker.
Thank you very much, Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Lee Hamilton, for your hard work, and I might add your distinguished service to our nation in the past. And thanks as well to all of our colleagues on the Iraq Study Group who've worked on this difficult issue, and they've worked on it in a bipartisan spirit and a very collaborative way. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no magic formula that will solve the problems of Iraq. But to give the Iraqi government a chance to succeed, United States policy must be focused more broadly than on military strategy alone or on Iraq alone. It must seek the active and constructive engagement of all governments that have an interest in avoiding chaos in Iraq, including all of Iraq's neighbors. To gain this constructive engagement, the United States should promptly initiate a new diplomatic offensive, and working with the government of Iraq, should create an international Iraq support group to address comprehensively the political, economic, and military matters necessary to provide stability in Iraq. That support group should include Iraq, of course, but also all of Iraq's neighbors, including Iran and Syria, the key regional states, including Egypt and the Gulf states, the United Nations Security Council PERM 5 member countries, a representative of the United Nations Secretary General, and the European Union. Given the central importance of the Arab-Israeli conflict to many countries both in and out of the region, the United States must again initiate active negotiations to achieve a stable Arab-Israeli peace on all fronts and in the manner that we outlined specifically in the report. Ladies and gentlemen, altogether in this report we make 79 recommendations. In addition to military, political, and diplomatic recommendations, which, as Lee has said, are equally important and reinforce each other, these recommendations cover a range of other areas: criminal justice, oil, reconstruction, the United States budget process, the training of U.S. government personnel, and United States intelligence. These recommendations are important, and they will greatly increase our ability to achieve a responsible transition in Iraq. We agreed upon our recommendations after considering a full range of other approaches. I suppose some of you will have questions about some of those other approaches, so let me say a word or two about them. We do not recommend a stay-the-course solution. In our opinion, that approach is no longer viable. While we do recommend a 5-fold increase in U.S. forces training Iraqi troops from, let's say, a high of 4,000 to a high of 20,000, we do not recommend increasing U.S. forces by in excess of 100,000 troops, as some have suggested. Additional fully combat-ready United States forces of that magnitude are simply not available. We have not recommended a division of Iraq into 3 autonomous regions based on ethnic or sectarian identities, but with a weak central government. As a practical matter, such a devolution, in our view, could not be managed on an orderly basis. And because Iraq's major cities are peopled by a mixture of warring groups, a disorderly devolution would likely result in a humanitarian disaster or a broad-based civil war. We also did not recommend a precipitous withdrawal of troops because that might not only cause a bloodbath, it would also invite a wider regional war. The approach we do recommend has its own shortcomings. We recognize that implementing it will require a tremendous amount of political will and will require a unity of effort by government agencies. Most of all, it will require cooperation by the executive and the legislative branches of our government. Events in Iraq could overtake what we recommend, and for that reason, we believe that decisions should be made by our national leaders with some urgency. As it is now, people are being killed day after day, Iraqis and the brave American troops who are trying to help them. Struggling in a world of fear, the Iraqis themselves dare not dream. They have been liberated from the nightmare of a tyrannical order, only to face the nightmare of brutal violence. As a matter of humanitarian concern, as a matter of national interest, and as a matter of practical necessity, it is time to find a new way forward, a new approach. We believe that a constructive solution requires that a new political consensus be built, a new consensus here at home and a new consensus abroad. And it is in that spirit that we have approached our study group's task on a bipartisan basis. So I am especially pleased to note for you that our group offers and supports each and every one of our recommendations unanimously. We, of course, recognize that some people will differ with some of these recommendations. We nevertheless hope very much that in moving forward, others will wish to continue to broaden and deepen the bipartisan spirit that has helped us come together. We'd be delighted to respond to your questions. The first hand up was the lady in the black right there. Robin, yeah, how are you, Robin? We can't hear you up here. It's not on.
Nope.
The older question now.
Robin Wright with the Washington Post. You talked about no course of action guaranteeing to stop the slide, but what do you think the odds are, if every single one of your recommendations is implemented, that this situation in Iraq can be turned around? And secondly, you talked about urgency. Your process took 9 months. Was there ever any concern that with the situation sliding so rapidly that your own report might be too late?
Well, I'll take the last part of that, and then maybe we'll both answer the first part. There was never any concern on the part of our group. We felt it was extraordinarily important to try and keep this process out of politics if we could, and therefore we did not want to bring it out during the political season, during the midterm election. So we decided right off the bat that we wanted to wait until after the election. We did so. We only took 1 month to get the report out after the election was concluded. With respect to the chances for success, I don't know whether anybody has a crystal ball that could put a percentage on there for you. I'll tell you this, and we say this in our report, if we do what we recommend in this report, it will certainly improve our chances for success.
We cannot, of course, predict the future. We believe that the situation in Iraq today is very, very serious. We do not know if it can be turned around, but we think we have an obligation to try, and if the recommendations that we have made are effectively implemented, there is at least a chance that you can see established a stable government in Iraq and stability in the region. The task ahead of us is daunting, very, very difficult, and we recognize that. But it is not by any means lost.
Dana?
Follow up on that.
And then maybe
Sure.
two right there. And
Just,
then we'll go.
got it. Just to follow up on that, can the president pick and choose what recommendations he decides to implement, or is this approach, as far as you're concerned, an all-or-nothing approach if it is intended to work?
Well, this is not legislation, and it's not an executive order, and it doesn't bind anyone. It doesn't bind the leadership on the Hill, and it doesn't bind the president. But it is the only recommended approach that will enjoy, in our opinion, complete bipartisan support, at least from the 10 people that you see up here.
I think it's very important to emphasize, as your question suggests, that in order to solve the difficulties in Iraq, you do have to have a comprehensive approach. And we tried to put together a comprehensive approach with these 79 recommendations. Now, we're not the only group in town making recommendations here. But you cannot solve this problem by dealing with the military problem, or by dealing with the economic reconstruction problem, or by dealing with the political problems in Iraq. It's too far along the way for that. So a comprehensive approach has to be taken. We were immensely pleased today when President Bush indicated to us that this report presents to the American people a common opportunity to deal with the problems in Iraq. And if that kind of attitude prevails, then you will see a bipartisan solution that we put together in the country. And I think it's a matter of faith for all of us up here that American foreign policy is going to be much stronger if we're united, executive and legislative, but also the American people are supporting the foreign policy.
And I'm going to get to the back of the room.
Yeah. Mr. Secretary, Congressman Hamilton, Commissioners, Major Garrett, Fox News. Gentlemen, and Madam Supreme Court Justice, I've only had a chance to briefly read this, but I searched in vain for a phrase or a word the President uses routinely, victory. And I'm wondering if it is fair to say that the conclusion of the Iraq Study Group is that victory is so difficult to define right now. The more important and more immediate policy objective for the United States government and the Iraqi government is to avoid catastrophe in Iraq. And if that is in fact what the Iraq Study Group is saying, isn't that going to be a part of an elaborate communication process with the American people to rally around avoiding catastrophe as opposed to rallying around definable victory?
We stayed away from a lot of terms that had been bandied about during the campaign season and the political debate. You probably won't find civil war in here either. You won't find victory, but you will find success. And so I think what our report says on balance, if you read it, is that if you implement the recommendations we make, the chances for success in Iraq will be improved. Yes, sir.
You're certainly a group of distinguished elder statesmen, but tell me, why should the President give more weight to what you all have said, given that you, as I understand, you went to Iraq once, with the exception of Senator Robb. None of you made it out of the green zone. Why should he give your recommendations any more weight than what he's hearing from his commanders on the ground in Iraq?
The members of the Iraq Study Group are, I think, public servants of a distinguished record. We don't pretend now, we did not pretend at the start to have expertise. We've put in a very intensive period of time. We have some judgments about the way this country works and the way our government works, and some considerable experience within our group on the Middle East. We recognize that our report is only one. There will be many recommendations, but the report will stand on its own and will be accepted or rejected on its own. We tried to set forth here achievable goals. It's a very easy thing to look at Iraq and sit down and set out a number of goals that really have no chance at all of being implemented. We took a very pragmatic approach because all of these people up here are pragmatic public officials. We also hope that our report will help bridge the divide in this country on the Iraq war, and will at least be a beginning of a consensus here, because without that consensus in the country, we do not think ultimately you can succeed in Iraq.
Let me add to that this report by this bunch of has-beens up here is the only bipartisan report that's out there. Yes, to Barbara.
Barbara Slavin of USA Today. One of the aspects of your report is outreach to Iran and Syria. What indications do you have from the discussions that you had in preparing the report that these two countries are prepared to be at all helpful? And I notice that you've taken the nuclear issue out of the equation. You say that should not be discussed in connection with Iraq. Why would the Iranians agree to come to a table and talk about Iraq unless the nuclear question and other questions were addressed?
Why did they agree to come to the table and talk about Afghanistan without talking about the nuclear issue? They did, and they helped us, and it was important. In our discussions with them, and the report points this out, Barbara, we didn't get the feeling that Iran is chomping at the bit to come to the table with us to talk about Iraq. And in fact, we say there we think they very well might not. But we also say we ought to put it to them, though, so that the world will see the rejectionist attitude that they are projecting by that action. With respect to Syria, there's some strong indications that they would be in a position, if we were able to enter into a constructive dialogue with them, that they would be in a position to help us and might want to help us. But we're specific in the report. There must be 10 or 11 or 12 things we say there that that we will be asking of Syria. The suggestion that somehow we're going to sacrifice the investigations of Pierre Gemayel and assassinations of Gemayel and Hariri or others is just ridiculous. So we're talking not about talking to be talking, we're talking about tough diplomacy. The hand that's behind you there.
May I simply add to that, I think all of us feel here that both Iran and Syria have a lot of influence in the region and have a lot of impact on Iraq. Iran probably today is the national power that has the single greatest influence inside Iraq today. We will be criticized, I'm sure, for talking with our adversaries, but I do not see how you solve these problems without talking to them. We have no exaggerated expectations of what can happen. We recognize that it's not likely to happen quickly. On the other hand, if you don't talk to them, we don't see much likelihood of progress being made. You cannot look at this area of the world and pick and choose among the countries that you're going to deal with. Everything in the Middle East is connected to everything else. And this diplomatic initiative that we have put forward recognizes that.
And let me just add to that.
And you're watching two elder statesmen, former Secretary of State James Baker, former Congressman Lee Hamilton, talking about a broad overview of the recommendations by the Iraq Study Group. These gentlemen did not mince words. Lee Hamilton calling the situation in Iraq very, very serious. He said he did not know if it could be turned around and that task ahead is daunting, but it was not by any means lost, but a comprehensive approach is necessary. It's cost $400 billion so far. It could rise to well over $1 trillion. He added, our ship of state has hit rough waters. We must chart a new way forward. Pentagon correspondent David Martin has been listening to this. David, the two men talked about a change in the military's primary mission, using the term milestone rather than timetable in terms of a withdrawal of U.S. combat forces. Can you explain exactly what that means, David?
Well, what they're talking about is all combat brigades, and that totals about 70,000 of the troops that are in Iraq now, out of combat and perhaps entirely out of the country by the first quarter of 2008. The U.S. military would love to see that happen. This is not a deadline. This is a goal. And the operative phrase in here is, by the first quarter of 2008, all combat brigades not necessary for force protection could be out of Iraq. Well, in other words, it depends entirely on the level of violence. Now, the way you get combat brigades out of Iraq is by taking units that are now engaged in combat, taking the officers and the sergeants out of those brigades and making them trainers, embedding them in Iraqi units, so those Iraqi units have the ability to call in airstrikes, call in medevac, get resupplied, all the things that American units take for granted but don't exist in Iraqi units. So this is a recommendation the U.S. military, I think, will have no trouble supporting.
All right, David Martin. We'll be talking about this later on. Thank you, David. If you'd like to read the complete report of the Iraq Study Group, it is on our website at cbsnews.com, and there will be much more about it on your local news on this CBS station, and of course, on tonight's CBS Evening News. We'll be talking with co-chairs James Baker and Lee Hamilton. Until then, I'm Katie Couric in Washington. We'll see you later on the Evening News.
For news 24 hours a day, log on to cbsnews.com.
Stephanie faces her demons.
You saw the bruises, and you did nothing.
Why?
I was a child.
Nothing will ever be the same.
Your memory is playing tricks on you, not mine. You weren't there when I needed you, Mother.
Betty White like you've never seen her before.
It did not happen.
The Bold and the Beautiful.
The NFL and United Way have been helping to strengthen America's communities for years. Maybe you can give us a hand. Volunteer at unitedway.org.
Oh my! Look at this crowd here this morning. Holy cow!
A lot of enthusiasm.
Quiet down. You'll wake up the neighbors. Unbelievable. Welcome back.
To be woken up.
Yeah, well, it's about time.
It's 8:30.
Welcome back, everybody, to the early show. You know, you have a dog.
I have a dog. Her name is Olivia. She's making me crazy.
And you look at Olivia sometimes,
yeah.
And you look in that dog's face. Do you ever wonder, what is this dog thinking?
Absolutely, all the time.
All the time. Well, we're going to try and decipher what some of your dog's thoughts are this morning with a great canine expert.
And then I say, what's in your mouth? All right, also, Danny Liffort's going to be back with some great gift ideas, tools for the handyman or handywoman in your life.
But first, over to Hannah. Thanks, Julie. When David Eckstein was growing up, a lot of people told him he had no shot at playing Major League Baseball. And boy, were they wrong. He not only made it to the majors, but this past October, he was named the most valuable player of the World Series. The St. Louis Cardinal shortstop tells his inspirational life story in a new book for kids called Have Heart. It's David Eckstein. Good morning.
Good morning.
Number 22. Isn't it great to have him here? Cardinals fans, congratulations on the World Series and the MVP, and also on this fantastic new book where you tell kids to follow their dreams, right? Despite any obstacles?
Definitely. Within the book, it just talks about my life growing up as a kid, and there was many challenges that I had to face, and it just makes you want to just go out there and believe in yourself, and anything is possible, and that's what I try to get the message across in the book.
You were always the smallest kid on the field, right? And you're 5'7" now, not tall by any standard.
Definitely. I was always the smallest one, but in this game, especially in baseball and in life, if you go out there and work hard, anything is possible.
You played through these incredible injuries. I know there was even talk of you not playing in the World Series. Everybody describes you as clutch and very, very tough, but you say that this pales into comparison what some of the members of your family have been through, right?
Definitely. Growing up as a kid, my youngest sister and two other brother and sister both all lost their kidneys, and they've had to go through kidney transplant. They were on dialysis for up to 2 years, and seeing them go through that, having the ability to play with a sore shoulder, I can go out there and do that. It doesn't even matter.
So that really changed your perspective on life, you think?
It definitely did. You know, in life, there are so many different avenues that you can go along, but having the ability to see what my brothers and sisters and my father faced, it just puts things in perspective, in which I feel very lucky and I feel very blessed to have the opportunity to play a sport, and especially baseball, and try to get that done.
I tell you what, you're a great inspiration for kids and adults alike. So congratulations again on the MVP.
Thank you very much.
And take care. And this is a great book. It's called Have Heart. Kids will love it. Now here's Harry.
We'll never let him leave New York City. Thanks, Hannah. They say dogs are man's best friend, but usually you know what your best friend thinks about. Try asking a dog that question. Instead, let's ask psychologist Stanley Coren, who writes about dogs and their personalities in his new book, Why Does My Dog Act That Way? And Stanley Coren is with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your lap there? What is that?
That is a 4-month-old Havanese puppy.
All right, we're going to talk about puppies and how to pick out the right dog and what you should know about puppies in just a minute. But one of the things you talk about in your book is the super dog. What is a super dog exactly?
Well, the super dog is really a dog which is more intelligent than most dogs and tends to have better social abilities. They're bomb-proof, okay?
Right.
They don't stress out and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that particular name comes from, believe it or not, a program which was run by the U.S. Army.
Right.
Back in the 1950s and 60s, the Army was trying to create the perfect service dogs.
Yeah.
And so they developed this program for the biosensor program, and everybody else called them the super dogs.
Okay, here's the question. If we have a dog at home, can we make our dogs or help train our dogs into being super dogs?
Yes, you can.
Really?
Yes, and it depends on the way that you stimulate your dog. And the things which you do it and the things which you expose the dog to. By not exposing your dog to certain situations, you actually set up
all kinds of bad behavior.
That's right. You set up a dog which gets spooked and gets crazy.
And eats the house and everything else and tears everything to smithereens. All right. A dog really has to learn how to live with people. That's one of the things you talk about in the book. Explain what you mean.
A dog has to learn, it has to become socialized. Socialized simply means you learn the rule of the social group that you're with.
Right.
Dogs have a problem because they have two social groups that they have
one they're born with,
and the other has to be people. So they have to learn both sets of rules. And part of that is also learning how to communicate with us. So recognizing our particular signals.
We found in our household, as we brought our new dog home, we needed to be trained to learn what to do in terms of what to communicate to the dog, what you wanted, what was permissible, not permissible, and everything else. We think it's all about training the dog. People need to be trained.
Oh yeah, I mean, there are two ends to that leash, and you can get problems on either end of the leash. And there are many signals which people, don't interpret correctly, like licking. Everybody thinks, if a dog licks, licks your face, that it's saying "I love you." It's kissy. It's not, okay? In the wild, dogs go out and hunt. They don't have shopping baskets, so they eat the game. They come back to the den. The puppies lick their face and they regurgitate the food, okay? So,
something to think about at home as your dog is licking your face this morning.
But the dog is licking your face and he's saying, I would really like a snack. And what do? We reward them. We say, what a good puppy. Here's a treat. Okay.
If you're looking for a dog, what should you be looking for?
Well, you have to look for a dog which fits your lifestyle, and that's absolutely critical. If you're a half marathon runner or something like that, you don't want a dog whose major aspiration in life is to become a sofa cushion. But vice versa. I mean, a lot of people tend to take very active dogs into their house, and the truth of the matter is they would really much rather, when the weather gets cold, sit and watch TV.
You can really, though, match a breed to your family, right? I mean, you can find a breed that is really going to be much more comfortable with than say, what you were just talking about.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are over 160 registered breeds. And the whole business about having a breed is so that you can predict what you get.
What the behavior is, right.
And if you look at the varying breeds of dogs, you're bound to find one which is a match. There's a quick rule of thumb, though, okay? The two major complaints which people have on their dogs is their size and strength and their activity level. So the general rule is if you've got two breeds that you like, generally speaking, pick the smaller and less active one.
There you go. Stanley Coren, thank you very much. What'd you call this? What is
this? This is Sadie.
Sadie.
She's a Havanese.
Yes. Very nice. Why Does My Dog Act That Way is published by Simon & Schuster, a division of CBS, and you can read an excerpt on our website at cbsnews.com. Now let's go back outside where Dave has our final check of the weather. Morning, Dave.
Hello, Harry. Nice to see you. I don't know what these people ate in between the last time we were out here and now, but I promised over here I'd say hello to our friends from Cortland, Virginia. They were on the outskirts of our crowd, but now they are front and center. Anything you want to say on behalf of the people of Cortland, Virginia?
Well, I hope it's not as cold down there as it is here.
And so it is said, so it will be. We will make sure the temperatures there are warmer today than they are in New York. You know what you need? You need a hat.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to mess up my hair.
Oh, well. Let me just tell you something. Nothing could mess up your hair.
Oh, thank you.
Looks like I'm moving to Cortland, Virginia. Nice to see you. All right. right, let's take a check of the weather, see what's happening all across the country, everybody. In Cortland, Virginia today, it's going to be on the chilly side, and as we head into tomorrow, a bitter blast is sweeping into the northeast. Heavy snow squalls right along the Great Lakes. Dry and milder, thank goodness, in the Pacific Northwest. Just beautiful out on the West Coast, and get ready for a cold night as you head on down to the Gulf states, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas. It's going to be chilly. Let's quick look at the national map. Here's an early look at what's going on in your area.
Courting Cortland, the Dave Price story. Hey, Malibu tree not dancing in the wind. We've got just beautiful conditions out there. Not winds we're concerned about, but low humidity levels sticking around, so that's why that red flag fire warning sticks around. Increasing clouds Friday into Saturday, chance of rain by Sunday.
John Elliott, thanks for that. I'm Suzanne Rico. Tomorrow morning starting at 5 a.m. Holiday cookies don't have to be unhealthy. We're going to show you some substitutes to make your gourmet goodies both tasty and healthy. That's tomorrow morning on CBS 2 News. Now back to the early show.
Now, you have got it right. You are dressed top to bottom. This is just insulation. It's like raw insulation, right? Right. Well, you're going to be warm. A lot of people are going to be jealous. Right. All right. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming, friends from Illinois. All right. That's your latest weather. Now let's send it back inside to you, Renee.
All righty, Dave, thanks. The King of Queens returns to CBS tonight in a big way with back-to-back episodes. And so we asked actress Leah Remini to play our game of trading places, bringing her husband to the set and then working for him at his Los Angeles restaurant.
That feels so good, baby. What's gotten into you?
King of Queens star Leah Remini is working with two husbands tonight. There's her TV spouse, Kevin James, and her real-life significant other, Angelo Pagan, playing a jealous boyfriend.
Yeah, I'm looking for Doug Heffernan. Does he live here?
Angelo's been on the show before, but he says it's always a challenge.
Ask my wife. I'm not funny.
He's not the funny one of the two.
I'm not funny, no.
He's the looks of the two.
So, what are you talking about?
Yeah, well, he's been messing with my girlfriend. I'm gonna kill him.
All right, you know what? Calm down, Chachi.
Come on, honey. Honey, that was good. That was good.
Funny when you don't want to be funny, honey. You're always funny when you don't want to be funny.
Rolling. Yeah, I'm looking for Doug Heffernan. Does he live here? Yeah. Why are you laughing at me?
The director is giving my husband a note because he's standing in my camera. See that? Sabotage.
If they cut my line and make the scene work, because obviously it wasn't.
You still get
it's all good.
$350.
Right. And you say, Mike?
You got the wrong Doug Heffernan, okay? Here's the address of the guy you're looking for. And good luck getting an appointment.
The audience loved Angelo, but the most important verdict was waiting for him back home.
Because most people think I got on the show because I'm sleeping with the lead, but that's not true.
No, that's not true.
No, because I had to audition.
And we also haven't had sex.
In 9 years.
Angela did great, but you're going to see that my performance in the restaurant is going to be like, no, not exactly.
The restaurant in question is Vivian's Millennium Cafe in Studio City, California.
They don't need me. I was about to jump in the kitchen.
Angelo is co-owner here, but today it'll be Leah scrambling with the people who brunch.
Do what you do, baby. Drive people crazy. Give them hell.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
You gotta hurry up.
Okay, be quiet. Go away, honey. I need to talk to my girls for a second. Go away, honey. Now, ladies. Ladies, seriously. We need to show Angelo that he don't know what the hell he's doing.
He doesn't know how to run.
All right. No, he don't know how to run this place. The girls know how to run the place.
Right,
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Girl power! Let's get this food out, ladies. Let's get the food out. You see what I'm saying? You got to, what you got to do is inspire. Personally, I don't think that's melted enough. you see that little?
That's not melted.
That's not right. I'm going to bring it. I need my food right now. Where's it at? Thank you. Mama, look at this. Look at this.
Right.
That's much better. Now it's melted, right, Boo-Boo? You see how things are popping? How's things over here? Do you need? Not good, y'all. They don't got silverware. Baby, why is there an empty pot of coffee sitting there? That's not right.
No job swap would be complete without the report card.
She was witty. She was cute. Customers love her.
But yeah, she was causing problems.
Do you think it was wrong of me to eat off that guy's plate?
Yeah, it's weird.
Ask these nice people. Hey, how was I? Was I attentive?
Oh, you're excellent. Yeah. Wonderful.
Again with the plates. People can't sit with dirty plates.
Very fun. Well, you can see Leah, Angelo, and the whole King of Queens cast for a full hour tonight, starting at 8, 7 Central, right here on CBS. Now here's Hannah with today's home improvement.
Well, the holidays are a great time to buy tools for loved ones who like to work with their hands. And as promised, Danny Lipford, the host of Today's Homeowner, is back with some gift ideas. Hi, Danny.
Hey, good morning, Hannah.
Now, when we want to go out and buy tools for somebody, what do we need to keep in mind?
Well, the best gift is one that makes a routine task a little easier. You hate to go out and buy a vacuum cleaner or something like that, but if you can buy something that'll make the task easier, that's a good gift.
I don't know anyone that would like to receive a vacuum cleaner.
I know, it'd be pretty dangerous, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. And you start with something very simple, which is this screwdriver, right?
These are a couple products from Duluth Trading Company, and the beauty of this one is that it has a little swivel head on it, make it very easy for the handy person around the house to work in a real tight, confined area, and it has several different bits that you're able to change out on the screwdriver itself, so real handy in those tight spots. And then for the, and that's about $14.
That's a great stocking stuffer.
Oh, exactly. Here's another one for the gardener around the house. This has 11 different tools within this little tool, and it's made by Leatherman, so it's a really good tool, and you just fold everything out. It's like kind of like the old Swiss Army knife.
Oh, that's really neat.
And then you can do just about anything you need to around the yard. This is around $60.
That's very cool, and you have to look good while you're doing it.
Yeah, you have to look good, and I'll tell you, clothes will really take a beating when you're doing some projects around the house, but this can take it. You feel how heavy that is?
This is so tough.
It's actually made out of the same material that fire hose is made out of, so extremely durable, very warm, and very stain resistant as well.
Yeah, you look at the lining of this. Can you guys see that? That's a nice warm lining. And how much will this run you?
Okay, the shirts are around $40 and the pants are around $50. Another thing from Duluth Trading Company.
Okay, now one thing I would never think of getting somebody for the holidays, an air compressor.
Well, now
but this is a cool one.
every garage needs an air compressor for filling up those bicycle tires, filling up the car tires.
Makes sense.
And but this one's a little different. It has a carrying handle. It's cordless and it's rechargeable. It also has a radio on it.
Gotta love the music.
Gotta have some music while you're playing and while you're working out in the yard. And then it also has the compressor that'll allow you to use this or other accessories for a few of the projects around the house. So this is around $110. This is around $42.
And what is this again?
Now this is a nailer stapler, just one of the many accessories that can go with a compressor like this. And this is great for a lot of those projects around the home.
Okay, now we're going to wheel this baby around here,
let me show
right?
you. Now, a lot of times there's different tools that you would love to have yourself, but you just never would buy. So this is one that many people around your house would just absolutely love. And all you do, you stand it just like that, you're able to tilt it up, and you're ready to go to work.
Wow, how about that, everybody? I mean, who doesn't want a table saw for Christmas, right?
And it's from Ryobi, available at the Home Depot, and the nice thing, it's only $230.
Wow, that is, now, you promised me that this would be, I mean, if you got this for Christmas, you would be thrilled.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And when you get something like this, you realize how much you will use it on all kinds of different projects around the house.
It's really cool, and it's a great space saver.
It's perfect.
But I got to think, this is my very favorite thing on the table. It looks like a regular toolbox,
It's like a regular toolbox.
But it's not.
Until you open it and you realize it's a gas-operated propane bottle goes here, grill, perfect for tailgating or easy to transport around, and you can have a lot of fun with it, fooling your friends, thinking that you're going to work when you're actually going to grill hamburgers.
Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. So it's got a handle. Let's feel how heavy this thing is, right? Because you're going to haul this thing around.
Yeah, it's not very bad at all. And actually, it's only $45. And it's from Sears.com.
That is awesome.
So.
I totally see that at a football game. And if all else fails, maybe you don't feel at home, you know, in the hardware store or wherever, what can you do for your favorite
Here's
handyman?
something else. Gift cards are always a good gift, and you can get them for any denomination, and then they can buy the gift themselves.
Perfect. Danny Lifford, happy holidays.
All right,
That was
you,
great.
Hannah.
I love this thing. All right, you can get more cool tool ideas logging onto our website at cbsnews.com. We'll be right back. This is The Early Show on CBS.
You better watch out. Santa knows who's been naughty and nice, and he's found watches at a fabulous price. Ross has the same designer watches you'll find at department stores for 40 to 60% less. Ross, there's no comparison.
The stockings were hung round the chimney with care, and Santa took notice, 'cause Empire'd been there. They got carpet and laminate and wood flooring too, saved 50% and have more than a year till payments are due. They shopped right at home, just one day to install. You'll even get a free gift with one simple call. For new floors this easy, there's only one way. Pick up the phone and call Empire today.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
You don't do this in your daily lives, so why do you do it in your car? Courtesy is contagious, and it begins with you. Look for other important driving tips from the Auto Club, and in the meantime, drive safely.
Do you suffer from chronic low back pain? Are you currently taking pain medication for your lower back pain? If so, you may qualify for a research study of an investigational medication for chronic low back pain. Participants must be between the ages of 21 and 75 and suffer from chronic low back pain. If qualified, you will receive all study-related care and investigational medication at no cost and may be compensated for time and travel. Visit backpain2006.com or call now for more information and to see if you qualify. 1-866-77-STUDY.
You could go to a department store and buy this adorable teddy for $38. Or you can go to Ross and buy the same teddy, plus slippers and a robe, and still have money left over for another adorable teddy. Ross, there's no comparison.
As your day unfolds, these are the stories you should be looking out for. Report reaction. President Bush received policy recommendations from the Iraq Study Group this morning and said he'd act in a timely fashion. Gates vote. Robert Gates may be confirmed today as Defense Secretary by the full Senate after a unanimous committee vote. Oregon search. Rescue crews are back in the mountains after finding pants that may belong to missing father James Kim. Launch threat. Tomorrow's launch of the Space Shuttle Discovery could be at risk as engineers troubleshoot last-minute glitches. And a Mars discovery. NASA announces findings from its search for water on the red planet. On tonight's CBS Evening News, the Iraq Study Group report. Here's Katie Couric with a preview.
Hi there. I'll be in Washington to bring you a special report, the Baker Commission on Iraq. Will it have teeth, and will the White House listen? So that and much more tonight on the CBS Evening News. We hope you'll join us.
And for all the latest news, just go to our website, cbsnews.com.
You know, we've had a lot of intrepid folks here out here all day today.
Good people from Illinois.
But I have to tell you what, this baby is so cute.
It's a baby. This is little Laura from Colorado. Say bye, everybody. Have a good day.
So adorable.
What a bundle.
Look at her.
Thanks for hanging around with us this morning. Have a great day, everybody. Your local news is next.
See it now, anytime, anywhere. CBS wireless video and picture alerts. Text the word news to 99888.
On our next show, Gloria Estefan. Then,
I've tried talking to the teacher.
how to get your point across without being a problem parent. And the 411 for your food 911. Today at 9 on CBS 2.
Shoe Pavilion wishes you a warm and fuzzy holiday with great gifts from $9.99 to $29.99. Genuine shearling slippers for women, luxury slippers for men, and favorite characters for kids. Great gifts for the whole family from $9.99 at Shoe Pavilion.
Homeowners need money. Want to get it without all that paperwork?
Greenlight Financial Services is making it easy to get the money you need. Get a home equity loan of up to $250,000 at 6.49% fixed for 30 years with almost no paperwork. That means no income verification, no appraisal, no tax return, and no bank statements. This no documentation offer is only guaranteed till Sunday. Call 866-66-FASTER. 866-66-FASTER.
Whether it's game day, or you're having a cocktail party, or it's a special celebration. A quick trip to Smart & Final, and you'll find everything you need to throw a great holiday party, all at low warehouse prices.
Turning Leaf wine, just $4.99. Crystal Geyser water, 12 1-liter bottles. Buy one case, get one free.
So, whether it's a tailgate party, or a baby shower, or...
Get smart. Smart & Final, the smaller, faster warehouse store.
A teacher haunted by her porn star past.
You made hardcore pornos, and you think you should not have been fired.
I was drunk. I was homeless.
All new Dr. Phil.
How can people be sure that you won't turn around and do it again? Today at 4 on CBS 2.
Shoe Pavilion has genuine shearling boots for men, women, and kids. Boots like these sell elsewhere for up to $145. But at Shoe Pavilion, they're just $29.99 and $39.99. Shoe Pavilion. Why pay more?
What a pretty picture as we zoom out along the coast on this Wednesday morning. This is Malibu at 8:55. Good morning. I'm Ken Shocknick. Here's what's happening. Taco Bell is making big menu changes nationwide this morning after a series of E. coli outbreaks. The restaurant chain now will be removing green onions from the menu at all its 5,800 restaurants all across the country. The Irvine-based Taco Bell says tests have revealed 3 samples of green onions that appear to possibly contain E. coli. At least 36 people in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania are recovering from the bacterium. Several Taco Bells in the Northeast remain closed while the source of the outbreak is investigated. Just saw in that live picture, it has turned into a beautiful morning outside. Start of a very pretty day. John Elliott has your 2-view Doppler forecast. John?
Oh, what a beautiful morning. And I'm not singing Oklahoma's score. I am just singing the praises of Southern California. Our view of the Griffith Observatory here in Hollywood do have the red flag fire warnings extended through Thursday afternoon. Mountain Valley locations of all of Southern California, not due to the winds, but due to low humidity levels and a prolonged period of those low levels. Over the next few days, other levels coming down include the temperatures as humidity goes up, and there's a chance of rain in the forecast by Sunday.
Better than Oklahoma, you should hear John do Pirates of Penzance. Tomorrow morning on our CBS 2 News starting at 5 a.m., see how to make gourmet cookies that also are good for you. Tasty and healthy tips. Tomorrow on CBS 2 News between 5 and 7 a.m. When you head to your computer today, let's blog. Today, the A-list actress who thinks you're stupid. Go to CBS2.com, scroll down to more blogs, and click. Vera Jimenez wraps up the morning rush hour on this Wednesday morning. Time saver traffic's coming up.
Anna's dares you to compare.
These Canon sheets are so soft. Yeah, they're 420 thread count. About $120 at a department store, right? Yes, but at Anna's, they're just $49.99. Unbelievable.
Everybody's talking about Anna's. Where you get a lot more for a lot less.
All I want is TV, internet, and phone from a company I trust.
All I want is not to have to watch my cable bill keep going up.
All my calls, my internet, and even my TV for a really low price. That's what I want.
Why deal with the frustrations of Time Warner Cable when you can get everything you want from a reliable company like Verizon? Your phone service, high-speed internet, and now even TV. All on one bill for under $105 a month.
All I want is a company that doesn't forget about me after I sign up. All I want is 3 services, 1 bill, 0 hassles.
All I want is not to be treated like I'm the problem.
Call 1-877-302-1511 for Verizon's unlimited calling to anywhere in the U.S., high-speed internet, and 100% digital quality TV for under $105 a month. That's 1-877-302-1511 for a better alternative to Time Warner Cable.
All I want is to kiss cable goodbye.
Phone, broadband, TV, Verizon.
Anna's dares you to compare.
This throw's unbelievably soft. It's that new micro plush yarn. About $30 at that big department store, right? Yep, but Anna's has them for just $7.99. Just $7.99?
Everybody's talking about Anna's. Where you get a lot more for a lot less.
Time saver traffic. Vera's looking at the Santa Ana Freeway coming out of Orange County. Vera?
That's right, Kent, and it's going to take you about 48 minutes to head away from the 91 and move northbound towards the 710 interchange. No lanes are blocked. The heaviest stretch always through Santa Fe Springs out of Norwalk, and that's the case here. Once you hit the Lakewood Rosemead, it actually opens up just a tad bit. The other one that's really difficult this morning happens to be the 60 through the San Gabriel Valley. The heaviest stretch is going to be from the 57 most of the way to San Gabriel Boulevard, and then it's just pockets of slowing as you continue on into East LA. And that's it for me. Back to you.
All right, Vera, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow morning starting at 5 a.m. NASA calls it a significant find on Mars. Have scientists found flowing water on the surface of the red planet? The story at 11 a.m. Rachel Ray, weekdays at 9, is next.
I was in a crossroad. It was like, okay, you're getting ready to turn this wonderful age. Where are you going?
There's open enrollment, and then there's switching dates.
It should be there in big headlines.
On November 15th, you can sign up for the year of 2007.
After March 31st, you are locked in.
It's a little confusing.
I just signed up for SCAN in January, and they said, don't worry.
But you see what I liked about SCAN, most of all?
It's the benefits.
No plan premium, no deductibles, and low co-payments.
SCAN covers, and these are amazing things.
Transportation to doctor's appointments.
Worldwide emergency coverage.
Generous prescription coverage.
Well, I think it's a very good time to tell people that we know.
The perfect time to be able to go into SCAN. And I'm very glad I did that.